Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought him back. Hi, you guys. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Aileen, and here we talk about all things makeup, mostly luxury makeup, skincare, and fashion. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I hope you consider subscribing and joining the family. So here we are, upon popular request. If you're new here, my name is Aileen. I'm obsessed with bronzer, and I use a lot of bronzers in my everyday routine. So I've been asked by quite a few, you too, Jen, to create a video showing my everyday bronzer routine, how many I use, why I use them, how to blend them together, all the jazz. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then keep on watching. But before we go, like we always say, comment, like, and make sure to subscribe. Let's get to it. Okay, so I don't know where the misunderstanding is, but my regular routine, just gonna go through them so you get to see what it is exactly that I apply. So first is my Westman Atelier in the shade Truffle. So I use this, let me move my mirror over here. So I use this to like where you would apply contour. Now I go in with this first because it's slightly cooler undertone than a bronzer that I like. If you were doing it, it depends on what your undertones are, what you like, and the shades you like your contour. So I would just say, do a contour first in the shade that you like a contour. And then I usually go up the chin a little bit just to make my chin a little smaller. It looks crazy. It's not. Then I use one of two. I'll either go in with my e.l.f. concealer sponge or like a dense angled brush. So I'm gonna go with my dense angled brush today because it just seems to be the one I go for the most. So I'm just gonna blend this out, soften the lines, but make sure I don't completely blend away that contour color. And sometimes, like if you have like this that you don't like myself, sometimes I'll just go and do an extra stripe there. And what the contour is going to do, it's really going to create the shadow. So by adding the contour color straight down, if this is an area you want to hide, you're making it seem like when you turn your head, this is the shadow of your, that's a tongue twister, the shadow of your chin. So it's not gonna look like that's your neck. It's gonna look like your chin is reflecting and giving that shadow. So I'd like to lightly bring that down. And then I like to, just this little dot here, I blend that out really softly. And then the forehead. So the forehead, I typically go upwards because I want to work that into my hairline. So if you have a larger forehead, you want to start by bringing it into the hairline so that it looks like a shadow. and gives the illusion that your forehead is smaller than it is. Kind of bringing down your hairline, forming that shadow. But if you don't blend it into your hairline, you're just going to have a white line and it's going to look like a little mask. And we'll go back there. Then I just blend all of these edges towards the hairline. And just another tip. Not everything in your body is asymmetrical. Nobody's is. So if you look, you usually have one ear higher than the other, one eye bigger than the other. You know, everything's one bigger than the other. So just make sure when you're applying the contour, you are doing it exactly the same. Where on one side, you might be starting in the top of your ear. In the other side, you might be starting a little lower. For me, this side is higher. So I have to start a little lower than up here where I start at the top of my ear. But what I want to make sure is that they're even onto the face, not with the ear. And then I just lightly just start blending that in. And you can definitely, if you're a finger person and you prefer the finger, so like if you see there, you can't really tell, but as I turn my face, you start to catch that shadow that's just sculpting my cheeks. Next, I just blend out. And when you're blending your contour, you should definitely always try to keep in mind that you want this to chisel. So you don't want to blend down, because then this is going to start looking very sunken. But it would depend on the shape of your face. If your face is rounder and you want to bring that in some, then that's where you would place it. So there you go. That is the contour. And I'm just doing the face. I'm not going to do the nose. I usually don't do my nose. What I usually do is with my lightest bronzer. If I'm going to contour my nose, I'll just bring it and flick it towards the inner part of the brow. I can definitely do that just to show you, but that's not part of my everyday. So next, so that was the Westman Atelier in the shade Truffle. Next, I want to bring in, so this is going to hide what I want to hide, contour, and really chisel the shape that I want in my face, hiding what I want to hide. Next is bringing in that bronze, just that kissed from the sun, I got a tan bronze. And with that, I'm going to use the Huda Tantour in the shade Medium. So with the same brush, I just dab. And there's enough on there. And I'm going to slightly lower. And again, placement is all a matter of perspective. It depends on your shape of your face. It depends, do you have something you want to hide? Do you want to emphasize that? Do you want to hide that? Like, it's all a matter of what you want to do for you. So what I like to do with my bronzer is I like with this one, I gotta make that clear, with this one, and let's make that clear because I use quite a few. See, and then I just, because it's a cream, I just kind of dab the edges of that and they're gonna blend together. See? So what I'm gonna do with this is really just where the sun touches. So when I get a tan, where's the first place on my face that the sun is really just darkening my complexion? And that's really where I'm doing this. And I'm doing this so ever so slightly. Like when I say ever so slightly, because this is really pigmented. I don't swirl my brush in there. I literally, a light little tap. See? And I feel I could use a little more. So I don't mind building up. And this is why I don't mind a light blush, because I feel like when you are bronzed and it looks like you've been kissed by the sun and you just add like a light blush, it really just looks like natural, kissed by the sun. And you know, if you're in the sun, that natural flush starts coming out like you've been blushing. That is the look I like when I go for my bronzer and my blush combo, unless I'm going for a specific look. And this summer I've really been loving a coral blush, even though I don't blush in coral. Mixed with the bronzer, it's really flawless. And then I like to make sure that this is blended together. So this Tantor is a warmer shade. So you would go with a shade that, based on your complexion, when you stand in the sun and you get a little sun, that's the shade you want to go for this second shade. And then I lightly tap in the bronzer one more time and I tap that off. You see how much that is? It's a lot. And then I'll just go over my nose, like some go over their nose with blush. I'll do that with bronzer. And there's a natural bronze look. And I do have, prior to applying my bronzer, I have the Lemare Cushion Foundation, and I'll have it on the description box. I had my brows done, my concealer, and my face was powdered. And that's why I love these products. They really do play well with powder. I don't have any issues. And because I'm always exfoliating my face and doing my skincare and applying sunscreen and trying to block my face from the sun, like if you see the shade of my arm, like my face is not far off. Like it's the same. So when you add, whether you spot conceal, whether you just use concealer, whether you just use foundation, when you add that layer of just one color, you really need to bring that warmth and your undertones back out over the foundation. And you do that by bronzing or blushing. It all depends on your preference. So for me, it's bronzer. Because when you take your makeup off, your face is not just one clean, solid canvas like your foundation portrays. So next, I go into a cooler shade of a powdered bronzer. So this is currently my go-to. This is the Dior Forever Natural Bronze in shade 6. I also go for my Hoola. This is a tried and true. So this is like the cooler tones. See, I've hit pan, but powder. So I really tend to go for the Dior, the Hoola. I also really like this one from Tarte, if you can see there. I've hit pan on quite a few. The Dior just is my current favorite for this technique. So I like to get a brush. This is the BK Beauty 104 that has just this dome shape that I could dip just the tip, tap it off, and I want to go just right here, just to give that definition back to that Westman Atelier that we may have covered up a little with the Tantor. And I do it very lightly, and then just so that it all looks cohesive with whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to go around where I added all that Westman Atelier. But when I say ever so slightly, I tap the tip of the brush and then still tap it off. And it looks very natural. Natural for me. I want to look when I bronze. I want to look how I look when I tan. It's just me. So that's 3 down. For those of you that guessed 3, it might be a little more. So I posted on my Instagram that I was going to film my bronzer routine, and I asked you guys how many bronzers do you think I'm going to use? The most popular answer was 3. I think Christy said 3, and with my new Bronze Mac Fix Plus, it's 4. I got a 50. I got an 8. You guys were hilarious. So that's 3 down, and no, we're not done. So next, I would use a warmer powder to go with the warmer shade of the cream, because I'm oily. Now, if you're not oily, you don't have to go with a powder over your creams, but that's my preference. So I, again, tap off, and I'm going to, with holding the brush at the end so that I can do it as soft as possible. I will go over the areas that I applied the Tantor. And because I'm talking, this seems like it takes a lot longer than it does. It doesn't. Or maybe I've just been doing this so long that I'm just like knocking them out. And this is going to tone down though. It's going to tone down. Trust the process. So that's 4. Next, this is not a bronzer, so I don't count it. This is the Marc Jacobs 54 Muse. This is an instant blurring beauty powder with brush. Oh, yeah, so with the brush. And I did see this on sale. I did see it sold out. This is beautiful. So it's like a finishing powder, but it does have a very slight sheen, like very slight, very minimal. You see that? It's like almost non-existent, but so pretty. So, and I've made a dent. So at the time I didn't buy it back up because I thought Marc Jacobs was going out of business, the beauty, but they're not. So next, what I do with this, I dip my brush and I want to soften all these edges. So I'll start in the edges where all that met and work my way up. You see? Just buff. And it looks so pretty. I'm so excited. So here, go around the edges and then just buff. Down here I do a little bit because I really don't want too much of that gone, because I want my all this chiseled. I want this to look more lifted. And then do the same over here, most of the product around the edges. And then buff. And there you go. So that is 3 bronzers and this powder. Now, it depends on the look I'm going for. So if this little slight sheen is enough, okay, we'll go with that. If not, my go-to is the Tom Ford Gold Dust. So this is just, it's too light to be like a bronzer, but it's just perfect. Like, so if you want a touch of gold, if you have a golden undertone and you just want to add a little bit of gold to that bronzer, look at that. Like, that's all you do. I just get this and I pounce it. I get some on the brush, I pounce it around, and that will top my bronzer with that gold shade that I want. That's just gonna make you glow. You see? Oh, where we going? Yes, bronze. And it's late. Nobody's gonna see this bronze, but y'all, I'm just saying. So that is my everyday bronzer, my go-to bronzer routine. So essentially it's 4 bronzers and then the mousse powder. And lastly, this baby that I have been loving, that I was so in my feelings that I didn't know about this. So this is the MAC Fix Plus Bronze Light. Hold on. She's gonna make you glow everywhere. Bronzy. And it doesn't do little bronze drops on any color shirt you have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't stain. Just letting it dry down so you get to see it. So pretty. And that's it. Now I will say, this is my go-to for that gold. But now that I've tried this is the Dior Golden Glow Luminizer. This is beautiful to give, like, if you really like, this has a glow to it with the gold dust and the bronze light. But if you wanted to give it a little bit more, like, just glow, this right here, look at that. And when you shear it out over your bronzer, you get that beautiful bronzy glow. Come on. So here we are. Like, I love it. Like, I could pop on a lip and go somewhere. I don't even need eyes. I don't need none of that. I'm just saying. A little mascara, a lip. Where are we going? We're going somewhere because we are bronzed for the gods. I'm just saying. So yes, to run that by you one more time, the Westman Atelier in the shade Truffle, the Huda Beauty. So we use this as a contour, the Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Medium as a cream bronzer. Your third would be a powdered, cool toned bronzer to match your original cool toned cream. And this one is the Dior Forever Natural Bronze 06 Amber Bronze. This is my cool tone. And then my warm tone that I'm using today is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer in the shade Medium Dark. And then I top that all with a luminizing one that today I used Gold Dust, but I am also loving the Dior Luminizer in the shade Golden Glow. Topped with my MAC Fix Plus Bronze Light. I need to get by like a case of these. I really do. But that's it, you guys. Like, that is my routine. Really, I religiously use the Truffle shade for Westman Atelier. And everything else I switch out. So like, I will switch the Tantour out depending on the shade. So if I get, my two go-tos are the Tantour and the Charlotte Tilbury wand. And my wand is in the shade, I want to say it's medium deep. I do just religiously just swatch them out. I have a lot of bronzers, but it's really all in the tone. So I want this shade for contouring. What shade do I want for bronzing? And then follow that up with the same tones, but in powder. And that's just really going to blend everything together. I love it. I love it. I love the way this combo of this Gold Dust just gives that sheen, that shine, adds that little bit of gold to it that really makes it look like sun tan, natural tan. And with this, you can't go wrong. It's going to blend all those powders together. It's going to make all that powdery look go away. Like, I just can't. I can't. I could talk about bronzer forever, you guys. And then, although this is not a powder, it is beautiful. I've highly recommended this to so many people. I've never had somebody say, Aileen, I didn't like that. Ever. Gila, if you're watching, you can attest. You love it. Just, I know you do. You can't say you don't. It's beautiful. But that's it, you guys. I hope that was helpful. Jen, now you can stop making fun of me and you can understand and trust the process. But until next time, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, we're all perfectly imperfect. Bye.